Hello, everyone. Welcome to the wrestling part of the channel. Yes, this is Brawling Badger, and I have the lovely Andy with me.
Hello, hello.
Indeed, and this is the first video on the channel. I thought everyone does wrestling news all the time, everyone does all these different things, but is there a channel that's devoted to reviewing and talking about wrestling films? I don't know that many, especially not ones that are old school. So we're going to see how this goes. Now, Andy picked this film for us, and
Yeah, blame
I'm
me.
not taking the blame for this. But remind everyone what it's called and if you know all the details, Andy, because I'm
Well,
Space Cadet.
I remember something. Right, it's a horror western from
Yes.
2012. It's called Gallow Walkers. The star of the film is Wesley Snipes, and it has Diamond Dallas Page in it. And you were saying there was another wrestler in it,
Yeah, Tank Abbott as well
Tank
plays the
Abbott.
preacher. Yes. And it's one of these films where, you could tell he wanted to just make another Blade, and it's like Blade in Western times. And that's not really a bad thing. It has its moments.
Yeah,
It's an enjoyable film. I did nod off for 10 minutes and have to rewind back. I won't lie.
I, I've got to say,
um,
when I was reading about it, first of all, one of the things that first struck me about it was the fact that it was started. They started making it in 2006. But it didn't finish until 2010, and then they didn't release it until 2012.
wow. Okay. So yeah, definitely had a few problems there, here and there.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was interesting as well. As I saw a beat from a Wesley Snipes did an interview with Empire magazine, and they asked him about this in 2014. They asked him about Gallow Walkers, and he said it was an absolute disaster.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
Obviously, Tank Abbott is an absolute beast. He's an absolute unit in WCW and some of the other wrestlings. And obviously, DDP is a very opposing character. So I love the fact that when they can put that to the other end and then their acting is fantastic.
The thing,
There's several other sort of guys that are actually done better in Hollywood than when they were wrestling. I think it's called Nathan Jones or something,
yeah.
and he actually did better in Hollywood than he
All
did
right.
as a wrestler. We'll have to look it up, but yeah, he used to fight the Undertaker and stuff a lot, and then he got let go, and then I think he does better on and off in Hollywood than he does in the wrestling.
The thing is, I mean, I used to watch wrestling back in the day, back when people like the Ultimate Warrior and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and people like that were the top of the game. And I
Yeah,
remember Diamond Dallas Page coming into the wrestling, and I remember seeing him fight a few times.
yeah.
There, and he was always pretty good to watch and all that kind of thing. I wasn't sure when well, I was a bit confused with this. Is that you only actually see him, I think, once in the film because his character all the way through it is wearing this metal
Helmet,
bucket
yeah,
on his head.
yeah. And I'm like, that was such a wasted opportunity. If you've got Diamond Dallas Page in it, let's see what he looks
I mean,
like
it
more.
could have been anyone in that in the outfit, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit of a pity. I mean, I chose this because I thought, oh, Diamond Dallas Page, I know him and that sort of thing. Plus, it's a Wesley Snipes horror western that should be worth looking at. Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, I mean, as a film, it's definitely,
Yeah,
it's reminiscent of all of the old spaghetti westerns, and it's definitely got nods to them and all that kind of thing. And there's some excellent makeup and effects in it. I thought they were brilliant.
but it's weirdly slow fast.
Yeah,
If you know what I
is.
mean.
The problem I have with it is it kind of jumps backwards and forwards between the present and the past, and just makes it feel a bit odd and disjointed.
That's right. Yeah, you like No, come on. And we had this problem with Highlander as well. When me and the missus watched Highlander the other day, which does have a wrestling segment in it, so we might end up reviewing Highlander just for giggles.
Yeah,
But it's the same with Highlander. They intersperse the back and forth bits, and then they don't tell you when it is, and you're like, no,
yeah,
just come on. I want. Sometimes it's nice to have a linear film, and it goes like all the way through. And it's the same. It's the same with that. Is it Shadow Walkers? Like Dave Bautista's
yeah,
last
yeah,
film,
yeah. I know the one you mean.
which was like a future western almost, and that was terrible, jumping about everywhere. And like you say, it is the recipe for disaster with films. Just put all the stuff that's in the past at the beginning, and then we'll fly nicely into the main story.
I mean,
You know,
I did like that his backstory was told throughout the film, so you kind of got drip fed why he was the way he was and who he was and that sort of thing. But it was just the way it was done, just sort of like made a few bits look odd and disjointed and everything. It's
mm,
a bit weird.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
as I say, I didn't realise there's a Diamond Dallas Page. I should have really thought about it. Was the fact that his character is called Skull Bucket.
yes,
So it should have been a clue, really. I think.
yeah. But yeah, it's brilliant. But yeah, like I said, it did feel like that sort of era. When did it come out?
Came out in 2012,
Oh, okay. And you said it started filming early 2020.
2006. They started
Right, yeah.
filming.
So that would have been near enough when WCW and stuff all sort of like started to finish up. And that's probably why it was a bit up and down because Diamond Dallas Page and Tank Abbott were probably tied to contracts with, is it Time Warner? Yeah,
Right.
Time Warner. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was a bit of legal trouble there where they had to stop and start and wait for
Well,
contracts to finish,
there,
maybe.
there was that, and there was also the fact that apparently that the film company had sunk a lot of money into this.
Yeah.
But this was around the time that Wesley Snipes was going through being sued for bankruptcy.
Oh, so he was in
So
prison.
although they were quite happy just for him to turn up on set and just sit there and do nothing because didn't want him walking away from the film because all
No.
of their money had been sunk into the fact that he was the star.
Wow.
So if anything had happened and he'd have walked away from the film, so they were happy he could come on set and just sit there and do nothing all day and get paid for it. They were just happy if it was there.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it was one of these things where he did nail it really well.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it was. I think so. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good film.
yeah, me too. Me too.
I was I was really surprised though. One of the things I was surprised about with this was the fact I was looking at. I didn't realise Diamond Dallas Page had been in 11 films before doing this one.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that was in 11 films where he was playing a character, not just being himself or being a wrestler.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's
I was
interesting.
really surprised that he'd been in films
Yeah.
for that long. It's just, I don't know,
Oh,
weird. Oh,
oh dear. Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's one of these things where you really like it, but it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I had to pop my cat off the table. But yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed the fact that Diamond Dallas Page, along with Hulk Hogan, actually started wrestling quite late. I think Diamond Dallas Page was like touching, I think he was like 35 or something, which is old
Okay.
for a wrestler.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and Hogan was old as well. So the fact that they're doing such a lot now is untrue. DDP's got his yoga stuff going on, and I think he still does Hollywood stuff. And I think it was about 2 years ago he actually had his last match in AEW,
Oh,
and and I'm not sure about Tank Abbott, but he probably is still going. Probably still an active wrestler.
yeah. I mean, as I say, I haven't been. I'm not that well versed in sort of wrestling as it is now. I
No,
kind of haven't watched it that much. I've watched a little bit more in the last year or so than I have done previously, but that's only because of the fact that they've had more stuff on on, but I haven't actually had to pay for.
Yeah.
But no, as I say, I used to watch it. That was we got Sky back in the day when it, and the only reason we got it really was because we wanted to watch the wrestling.
Yeah.
So that was good fun.
But
But
it
yeah,
does, it did feel like a wrestling film. It did feel like an action film, and it had that. I love, and it one what I did love about it that made me smile is it's the sort of thing that I could have watched with my dad, which
yeah,
and it was one of these things where it's like, I love the intricacy on the gun work as well. When you saw, so you could tell that there was a lot of money into it. There was a lot of good shots, but like you say, it was in production hell, and I
yeah,
do think it is because of the wrestling schedules and stuff. A lot
possibly,
of it, as
yeah,
well as
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And there is one other thing that I noticed that while I was watching it, and I ended up having to look up, and I was absolutely amazed by this. Right? There is a character in it called Mosca
Right.
who has like a scaly head, looks a bit like he's a lizard, and he's got these two tail things out the back of his head.
That's right.
It was played by Derek Griffiths. Now, anybody in the UK growing up at the same time I did will know Derek Griffiths because he used to be on Play School.
Okay.
Eh, Derek Griffiths was on things like Play School, kids programs, and all that kind of thing. He's done a lot of other stuff as well, but
Yeah.
that's where I first remember seeing him. And he was in this film. I was like, "What? That's bizarre."
Yeah. So it just shows you, doesn't it, that you'll see lots of different people in lots of different things, and they do show up in these DVD only films. But or was it though? Did it get released at the cinema?
I think it did. I don't know, but I think so. I mean, the fact that it was. I don't know. I mean, I would have thought they would have put it out the cinema because they must have sunk a lot of money into this. They must have
Yeah.
lost a lot if they didn't.
But it did feel like a straight to DVD film, though.
Yeah,
You
it
get
must have
those
been.
vibes.
But as I say, it did have that. It had that whole spaghetti western sort of feel to it and that sort of thing. And it's interesting because this was actually filmed. It was filmed in Namibia.
Okay, where's that?
That's in Africa.
Oh, okay. So not America at all.
No, so there you go.
Yeah,
Weird.
but
I
yeah.
think. I think maybe there could have been a better film to choose to show off wrestlers acting, maybe. But
No, this is a fun one to start. This is a fun one to start. Don't worry, I love it.
maybe next time we'll try and find one where the wrestler is actually one of the stars of the film rather than just being a supporting role somewhere.
But I'd love to know. I mean, we have to look it up how much Diamond Dallas Page and Tanko got paid. I don't know if you can quickly do that now. Let's have a
I
look.
don't know. I don't know if you can.
Let's have a look. See if we can find out how much they got paid for their small roles.
Oh,
Because I bet you it weren't. I bet you it was a chunk.
well, yeah. Uh, okay, let's see if we get anything. It's not publicly disclosed.
Oh, okay.
The film had an estimated budget of 17 million.
Right, okay. Because I can guarantee that obviously with the Time Warner contract that DDP had and the fact that they were going to WWE after a few years, and I think Tank Abbott, I'm not sure if they went to WWE afterwards or not, but they would have commanded a bit of a chunk. So it's interesting to see how that goes.
Well, apparently DDP has said that his work in the film was demanding and it involved him training one of the co-stars, Henny Bosman, because he said in like, doing the fighting scenes.
Okay, interesting. And it'd be obviously if he was wearing that weird helmet as well.
Yeah.
It's unusual.
Well, I mean, there is a bit where he has a fight with Wesley Snipes in like a barn.
That's right. Yeah.
So that sounds like he did some of the choreography for the fight scenes and that sort
Oh,
of thing.
that's really interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah.
So,
So yeah, like I said, he's a yoga instructor now,
yeah,
and there's a few guys that Lex Luger. So there you go. I remember the name.
yeah.
Lex Luger was a like to use the old-fashioned term, but this is more appropriate, really. Lex Luger, because of all his injuries, he was wheelchair bound.
Oh,
But
right,
so not just a user, he was actually bound to a wheelchair, and they thought
right.
he'd never walk again whatsoever. And then because of DDP yoga, he's up and running around
Wow,
and all
that's
that, like,
incredible.
like anything. Yeah. So it just shows you, like, DDP is like gone from being a like whatever he did before years and years ago to a wrestler to a film star to now changing people's lives via yoga, which is very
Wow,
interesting.
that is interesting. That's very cool. Very.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to watch Gallow, because it is actually on Netflix,
Yes.
there is a copy of it also on YouTube.
Which was a good copy, actually, I thought.
Yeah, it was. I didn't realize because I watched that and then didn't realize it was on Netflix until afterwards.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't realise that either. Yeah. Well, yeah. Please do check it out. And let us know, and let us know what time you have a convenient nap, and then you have to rewind it back because I did.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a bad film. It was an okay film. I
It was
quite
okay, was
enjoyed
it?
watching it,
And
to
the
be honest.
effects were good, and the gunplay was fun.
Yeah,
You know, if you've got a couple of hours to spare of an afternoon, and you like Wesley Snipes' Blade, but you've watched all the three to death, I recommend it. You know,
yeah. I thought it was good. I think it's worth a watch. As I
yeah.
say, it may not be the ideal film to watch if you're looking to watch films that have got wrestlers in because you don't really see them that much. But
But there you go. It's a great one. All right, guys. Thank you very much, Andy, for this.
thank
And
you very much for inviting me, Badger.
that's it. And we'll be doing some more very soon, hopefully, if I twist your arm.
Yeah, yeah, no problem at all.
And yeah, and more coming soon. And don't forget to comment if you enjoyed this and you want to see more. Let us know in the comments. Thanks very much, everyone. Bye
Thank
for
you.
now. Indeed. Thanks, Andy. Bye.